Once you hit 80, these 5 changes are bound to occur, whether you're ready for them or not. Signs of aging become more pronounced. If you're nearing 80 or have already reached it, you've likely noticed that life no longer flows the way it did in your 70 seconds. There are 5 key transformations that everyone encounters at this stage, and I do mean everyone, regardless of whether they're prepared. These aren't illnesses or issues to fix, but natural shifts that accompany this major life chapter. Some of these changes might feel unsettling, others might take you by surprise. But the 5th one, it's possibly the most freeing experience a person can have. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about helping you navigate your later years with clarity, confidence, and intention. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 unspoken but universal shifts that happen when you reach 80. These aren't symptoms of decline to be feared, they're transitions that, once understood, can greatly enhance your overall well-being. Over the next few minutes, you'll learn how your energy levels and sleep habits change, the ways your social life naturally shifts, how your sense of time transforms, what happens to your memory and thinking, and finally, the most surprising change of all, which might just be the highlight of turning 80. I'd love for you to drop a comment below. Are you approaching 80, already living it, or tuning in on behalf of someone you care about? Your insights contribute to a shared wisdom that benefits us all. Here's something many people don't realize. Understanding these changes before they happen is like having a map for one of the most potentially enriching decades of your life. And that 5th change I mentioned, it could revolutionize your perspective on aging. Let's begin. Number 1, your physical energy and sleep cycles shift dramatically. One of the first things you'll notice at 80 is that your energy and sleep patterns no longer follow the rhythms you're used to. But this isn't just about feeling more tired. It's about your entire system operating on a new timetable, and most people resist it instead of learning to adapt. So, what's really going on? Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that has guided your sleep for years, starts shifting earlier. You may naturally feel sleepy around 8 or 9 p.m. and find yourself waking up around 5 or 6 a.m. Your highest energy typically comes in the morning and early afternoon, with a noticeable drop-off around 2 p.m. This isn't fatigue, it's your body adjusting to a new ideal rhythm. Your sleep structure changes as well. You'll likely spend more time in lighter stages of sleep and less in deep, restorative phases. As a result, you might find yourself waking up more often during the night, not due to poor rest, but because this is now your body's new normal. But here's the crucial point. This shift is entirely normal, and it doesn't indicate poor sleep quality. As long as you adjust your mindset and daily habits accordingly. Take the example of Lucille, a retired teacher now 82 years old. During the first 2 years after she turned 80, she felt uneasy and concerned. She couldn't stay awake past 9:00 p.m. and often found herself waking up at 5:30 a.m. She worried something might be wrong. Her doctor reassured her that this was a typical part of aging. Instead of resisting it, Lucille made a bold change. She redesigned her daily routine to align with her new natural rhythm. Now, she handles her most important tasks, like reading, writing letters, and gentle workouts in the morning. When her energy peaks, she plans social time for the early afternoon, takes a guilt-free 20-minute rest around 2 p.m., and has fully embraced going to bed early. The outcome, she now feels more energized and productive than she has in years. Here are 3 smart ways to align with your body's new energy cycle. First, monitor your energy levels over the course of a week. Notice when you feel most awake and when your body naturally slows down. Second, match your most important responsibilities to your peak energy times. Use your high energy hours for tasks that demand focus. Third, develop a regular bedtime routine that respects your earlier sleep schedule. This can include lowering the lights an hour before bed and stepping away from screens. And the biggest mental shift you can make is this: your body isn't falling apart, it's becoming more efficient for this stage of life. When you stop resisting your body's changes and instead work with them, you'll likely find your days more productive and enjoyable than when you were pushing yourself to keep your old pace. Have you noticed shifts in your energy as you've gotten older? Share in the comments your story could reassure someone going through the same thing. But changes in energy are only the beginning. The next transformation at 80 affects something even more central, and it might be more uplifting than you expect. 2. Your social connections begin to shift in unexpected, meaningful ways. The second unavoidable transformation at 80 relates to how your social world evolves. And this change isn't just about saying goodbye to people, although that does happen. It's a broader shift in how you relate to others. And what those relationships mean, as you move through this stage of life, some friendships may naturally fade, while others become stronger and more profound than ever before. Why? Because your priorities move toward authenticity. You become less interested in surface-level interactions and more drawn to people who understand your present experience, not just your past. You might find large gatherings less appealing and instead enjoy deep, one-on-one conversations. That old shopping buddy may no longer fit your rhythm, while someone new, perhaps once an acquaintance, may become a trusted companion because they truly understand your current journey. This transformation serves a powerful role. Your emotional energy becomes more valuable, and your brain begins prioritizing relationships that offer real support, genuine understanding, and emotional fulfillment. This isn't social withdrawal, it's social refinement. Take the example of Eugene. At 81, he felt disheartened when his long-standing poker group slowly dissolved. Some members were facing health challenges. Others had relocated to be nearer to family, and the group no longer felt the same. Eugene began to feel disconnected, as if part of his identity had vanished. But then something unexpected unfolded. Eugene began volunteering with a literacy program at his neighborhood library, where he met fellow volunteers in their 70 seconds and 80 seconds. These new connections weren't based on past experiences, but rather on shared goals and a common sense of purpose. To his surprise, Eugene found these interactions richer, more uplifting, and emotionally rewarding. During this period, his bond with his adult children also grew stronger. By being more intentional about how he spent his social energy, Eugene focused on relationships that truly mattered, and his family responded in kind. So, how can you navigate this phase of social transition with confidence? First, allow yourself to release relationships that no longer serve you without guilt. Not every connection is meant to last a lifetime. Second, actively look for new relationships with individuals who share your current values or are navigating similar life stages. Third, nurture the relationships that give you energy. Prioritize quality over quantity by creating time for sincere, meaningful interactions. And here's a key principle. Don't try to match the same social pace you had in your 60 seconds or 70 seconds. Depth now matters more than frequency. A deep, engaging 2-hour conversation can offer more fulfillment than an entire day of shallow interactions. Most importantly, realize this isn't about becoming isolated or giving up on companionship. Many people in their 80 seconds find that their friendships are more open, emotionally supportive, and genuine than at any other time in life. You're not losing your social network, you're refining and elevating it. How have your friendships changed over time? Have certain relationships grown stronger? Or have surprising new connections entered your life? Share your story below. Your experience could help others who are navigating the same shift. This natural evolution in your relationships ties directly into the third major transformation, one that influences something even deeper: your relationship with time. 3. Your perception of time and your priorities shift in extraordinary ways. This third change might be the most profound of all. As you enter your 80 segundo, your entire outlook on time transforms, and along with it, your internal compass for what truly matters. Psychologists refer to this as a time perspective shift. Your days might feel shorter, perhaps because your physical stamina has decreased, but in a beautiful twist, you become far more discerning about how you spend each moment. It's not about fearing that time is slipping away, it's about finally understanding what time is really for. You begin caring less about outside opinions and more about activities that give you deep personal satisfaction. The pressure to impress others, follow outdated standards, or seek validation from people who don't genuinely matter begins to fade away. This shift is incredibly liberating. For perhaps the first time in adulthood, you find yourself confidently saying no to commitments that drain you and yes to the things that nourish your spirit. The fear of missing out gives way to the satisfaction of making intentional choices. Let me tell you about Ruby, who, at 83, made a bold decision that left her family completely stunned. Ruby had been a pillar in her church community for 4 decades, managing committees, organizing functions, and upholding social responsibilities that had gradually turned more draining than rewarding. One day, she realized that most of her limited energy was being spent on obligations that no longer brought her happiness. So she made a drastic change. Ruby stepped away from all of her church roles and instead began spending her Sunday mornings in her garden, a lifelong passion that had always taken a back seat. She also started volunteering at the neighborhood community garden once a week, sharing her knowledge with younger gardening enthusiasts and reconnecting with the earth in a hands-on way. At first, her family worried she was withdrawing from her social life or perhaps feeling defeated, but Ruby reported feeling more alive, driven, and engaged than she had in years. By letting go of obligations that drained her, she finally had time and energy to focus on what truly enriched her life. This shift in how you view time deeply influences the way you make decisions. At 80, you're far more likely to choose based on inner fulfillment rather than societal pressure. You may finally pursue that interest you've long postponed, distance yourself from relationships that no longer uplift you, or opt for living arrangements that prioritize peace and comfort over appearances. The results are often transformative. You gain clarity about what truly matters. Researchers call this crystallized wisdom, the refined ability to see through distractions and zero in on what really counts. Here's how to lean into this empowering shift in time perspective. First, take stock of your weekly routine. Identify what activities fuel you and which ones deplete your energy. Second, get comfortable saying no to commitments that don't reflect your real values and do so without apology. Third, carve out time for experiences that bring deep emotional or spiritual satisfaction, even if they seem unproductive by traditional standards. Fourth, use your clearer perspective on time to finally have those conversations or experiences you've delayed for too long. By the time you reach 80, you hold not just the insight to understand what's meaningful, but the freedom to act on it. What's truly beautiful about this transformation is that many people find they feel more authentic and fulfilled than they ever did before. When you stop living by someone else's timeline and start honoring your own daughter, every moment gains a deeper sense of purpose. What commitments have you let go of in recent years? Have you discovered new priorities that surprise or delight you? Let us know in the comments. Your story might resonate with someone else navigating this path. This shift in priorities naturally sets the stage for the fourth major transformation, one that impacts your mind in ways you might not expect. 4. Memory and mental function shift in fascinating, adaptive ways. The fourth major change at 80 relates to how your mind works, but it's not the simple cognitive decline many assume. Instead of just losing capacity, your brain undergoes an intelligent reorganization. It trades certain mental skills for others, and in many cases, the exchange works in your favor. Yes, your short-term memory may become more inconsistent. You might walk into a room and forget your reason for being there, or struggle to recall a name you just heard. But here's what's remarkable. Although your brain becomes less adept at briefly storing new information, it grows significantly better at retrieving and connecting memories from the past in deeply meaningful ways. At 80, it's common to find that moments from 30 or 40 years ago come back with vivid detail. Even more impressively, your brain improves at spotting themes, patterns, and underlying meaning across your experiences. This is why many older adults excel at offering wisdom and sound judgment, even if their processing speed has slowed. Your brain essentially transitions from rapid data processing to deep pattern recognition and intuitive wisdom. You're no longer optimized for fast facts and quick memory recall. Instead, you're wired for understanding complexity and delivering insight. This shift is especially visible in decision-making. While it may take more time to absorb new information, your choices are often sharper and more thoughtful because they're guided by decades of accumulated knowledge. You can distinguish what truly matters from what's just background noise. Take Carlton, for instance, a retired engineer, now 84. When he first noticed he couldn't memorize technical data as easily as before, he felt frustrated. But when his adult son came to him with complex work dilemmas, Carlton consistently offered practical solutions that younger colleagues had overlooked. His mental agility hadn't disappeared, it had transformed. While Carlton no longer had the speed for quick data recall, he developed a powerful ability to spot patterns. Years of experience had rewired his brain for deeper insights that outpaced mere mental speed. To make the most of this transformation, Carlton adapted. He began jotting down essential daily notes, freeing up his brain for deeper-level thinking. He also joined a local planning board, where his ability to see the big picture made him a valuable contributor. Here are 4 practical ways to work with your evolving cognitive strengths. Offload routine memory tasks using tools like calendars, sticky notes, or reminder apps. This clears mental space for critical thinking. Engage in activities that leverage your wisdom-based abilities, mentoring, strategic games, or advising others. Keep your brain active by continuing to learn in areas where you already have a foundation. Instead of starting from scratch, acknowledge that your cognitive style has shifted, not declined. You're now built for thoughtful analysis, not speed. The most important mental shift is to stop viewing cognitive aging as purely a loss. It's not a downgrade, it's a recalibration, a shift in how your brain delivers value. Your brain at 80 is designed differently than it was at 30. And in many ways, it's even better equipped for the kind of thinking and decision-making that matters most in this stage of life. Maybe you occasionally misplace your reading glasses, but you can quickly tell when someone's advice is off. Cut through complex social dynamics and make decisions with depth that younger people might overlook. Have you noticed your mental habits or memory evolving as you age? Are new strengths beginning to surface even as some areas change? Share your insights in the comments. They might resonate with someone else on the same path. This cognitive growth sets the stage for the 5th and possibly most uplifting transformation of all. 5. You unlock a profound sense of freedom and authenticity. This final shift is often the most unexpected, and for many, the most rewarding. At 80, you begin to experience a kind of personal freedom and genuine self-expression that you may never have fully accessed before. It's not just about caring less about what people think. It's about finally allowing yourself to be who you really are. Many of the external pressures that shaped earlier choices, chasing a career, maintaining social appearances, meeting cultural expectations, begin to fade. Your children are independent. Most of your life's big responsibilities are behind you. And for the first time, you may feel truly free to live by your own values and desires. That freedom shows up in meaningful ways. You might start voicing opinions you used to hold back, diving into hobbies others might have once dismissed, or making lifestyle changes that prioritize your happiness over what's deemed appropriate. The fear of judgment that used to hover over decisions becomes almost irrelevant. What's most beautiful is that this shift isn't about becoming self-centered. It's about stepping into your truest self, and often that makes you more open, interesting, and inspiring to the people around you. Here's the paradox: even if your body feels more limited than before, your emotional and spiritual sense of freedom grows exponentially. You stop playing roles assigned by others and finally begin living as your most authentic self. Take Constance, for example. At 82, She made a life change that perfectly embodied this newfound liberation. For decades, she had been known as the perfect minister's wife, reserved in appearance, soft-spoken, always putting others first. She had hidden away her creative passions to conform to expectations. But in her early 80 seconds, Constance decided she was done playing that part. She began wearing vibrant, expressive clothes, picked up painting favoring bold, abstract pieces, and started speaking her truth more freely than ever before. Far from becoming difficult or distant, Constance bloomed into a more dynamic, captivating version of herself. At first, Constance's family was taken aback by the transformation, but they soon realized that this truer version of her was not only more authentic, she was also more enjoyable to be around. Her grandchildren, especially, adored this vibrant grandmother who painted bold ballio, imaginative art, and never held back her thoughts. Constance had finally given herself full permission to live as her true self. And with that authenticity came a number of unexpected rewards. Many people in their 80 seconds report that their relationships become stronger and more sincere simply because they're no longer hiding who they really are. They spend far less energy trying to meet other people's expectations and redirect that energy into deeper, more meaningful connections. This freedom spills over into how you choose to live. 2. You might decide to settle in a place that brings you joy, not just one that makes sense on paper. You might take up hobbies that light you up inside, even if they don't seem appropriate for your age. You might shape your daily routine around what fuels your spirit rather than what's expected of you. This isn't about abandoning responsibility or acting without care. It's about gaining the clarity to know which obligations still hold value and which no longer do. Here's how to welcome this freedom with purpose. Reflect on areas where you've been following others' expectations instead of your own truth. Consciously give yourself the green light to make decisions rooted in your own joy and satisfaction. Try sharing your genuine thoughts and interests more freely. You may be surprised at how well it's received. Use this stage as an invitation to grow. What have you long wanted to try but always pushed aside? This may be the ideal time to explore it. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this change is this: many people say they feel more like themselves at 80 than they ever did before. The roles and labels that once defined your life begin to fall away, and now you get to decide which ones still serve you and which you're ready to leave behind. Have you noticed this rising sense of freedom and authenticity in your own journey? What parts of yourself have come alive again, or for the first time? What expectations have you finally released? Share your reflections in the comments. Your story might encourage someone else to embrace their own path forward. This sense of authenticity is the result of all the other transformations we've explored, the shift in energy that helps you focus on what truly matters, the evolution of your social world toward deeper, more nourishing relationships, the redefined sense of time that guides you to live more intentionally, the changes in thinking that trade speed for wisdom and perspective. Together, these 5 changes don't just make life at 80 bearable, they make it potentially the most enriching, meaningful decade of your life. When you understand what's changing and why your outlook on aging shifts completely, instead of facing 80 with anxiety, you can welcome it as a chance for growth, clarity, and deeper fulfillment. Your new energy rhythms teach you how to be purposeful. Your social transformation leads you toward connection that truly matters. Your sense of time brings focus and clarity. Your thinking evolves into profound insight, and your growing authenticity gives you the courage to finally live as the fullest version of yourself. When you view these changes as natural progressions rather than setbacks, you begin to move with them, not against them. Those who reach 80 and embrace their evolving energy cycles foster more meaningful relationships, prioritize with intention, value insight over speed, and live with authenticity, often report higher levels of life satisfaction than they've felt in years. This isn't about resigning to decline, it's about understanding growth. Your 80-year-old self isn't a faded version of who you were. It's a refined version, designed for a different yet equally meaningful chapter of life. The most powerful shift comes from this realization. When each of these changes is welcomed and understood, they become stepping stones toward a life that's more mindful, more genuine, and more satisfying than any previous stage. So tell me, which of these 5 transformations resonated with you the most? Or if you're already living through them, which has brought you the greatest sense of peace or joy? Drop a comment below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If this message helped reshape how you view aging, especially life after 80, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from this new perspective. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're building a community where aging is not only respected but truly celebrated at every stage.